Hello everyone, welcome to another Fantasy XIV video. Today I'm not making a video guide, but instead I will be talking about my experiences with Shadowbringers and what I'm looking forward to in Endwalker. This is mainly gonna be a freeform video, so there's not gonna be any script like I usually do with my video guides, but instead I will be just talking by myself here in front of you guys. Since it's gonna be freeform, sorry if there's any mistakes in my sentences. I guess sometimes whenever I think about what I'm gonna say next, shit happens. Yeah, let's begin. I'll start off with a bit of backstory, I guess. I am a Stormblood baby. I started playing during 5.5, about 2 or 3 weeks before 5.55 when Blue came out. I am a WoW refugee. I came during Battle for Azeroth because, to be honest, that expansion was kind of garbage. And I kind of felt the need of something new. And I remembered I played Final Fantasy a while ago. Before that, back when the free trial was still 7 days only. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to give it another try. So I started raiding in Alphascape.
LB2. It's the end. DPS. It's the end. And LB2.
2%.
1%.
We cleared it.
Oh, we can actually do it. We can actually go.
Keep going.
Yes! Yes!
Fucking stupid ass mouse.
It's fucking 3 AM, but we killed it. I don't fucking care. I still think that's one of the best tiers. I haven't played Sigmascape or Deltascape, so I can't really say much about those. But from what I've heard, the Kefka tier, I think it was Sigma. That one was the best in most of the Raiders' eyes. I've only had 2 Savage groups until now. The first one sadly disbanded during Eden's Verse, so I've been raiding with them since Alphascape to Eden's Verse. They were kind of getting bored because they were really old players. Not like actually old, but like they were veteran players. They've been playing since Realm Reborn, some of them even since 1.0, and they were kind of getting tired of the game, so they just stopped. And I was the ninja main, but in Stormblood I ended up maining Gunbreaker as well because basically I made an alt for extra raiding, you could say. Initially I planned on raiding that in PF with that character, and I ended up making a practice or like a learning static in the FC I was in at the time. It started out with like 8 FC people, and we didn't even start actually raiding, and we went down to 3. It was me, Yue, and Kanar, or Yuane. They're still in the static today. The rest of the people I either invited through friends I knew personally from previous Ultimate groups, or just recruited from ERC. I wouldn't say I ever did hardcore raiding. I did clear stuff pre-Echo. Most of the expansion has been cleared pre-Echo. Eden's Promise wasn't. E12 West was cleared like 1 or 2 days after Echo came out, which was unfortunate, but our scheduling did not allow for earlier clears. I think overall the expansion was fine. Hard to say what was missing and what wasn't missing, but comparing it to Stormblood, there was a 100% like definite lack of content in the expansion. COVID hit us all. I don't know. I guess it hit them as well. I wouldn't say it was entirely COVID's fault because they even assumed responsibility for it, since they said that they weren't or properly organized. And when the pandemic came out, it just completely blew them over. So they needed time to recover, which is understandable. I enjoyed the content that we were given, but I 100% felt like the expansions raids were slightly easier than Stormblood. I'm not sure how it felt for the other roles, but I know for sure that playing melee and tank, which is still basically another melee, was not as hard as it used to be in Somrat. That may also be because I gained experience. So yeah, I mean, I did raid 4 tiers at this point and 3 ultimates basically. I'm still trying to clear UCOB. I've cleared T and Wu this expansion. But I hope that my main hope for raids next expansion is that they will be fun. Not that these ones weren't, but I hope that they will stay fun. And on top of that, they will also have more challenging mechanics, especially for tanks and melees. I hope that the healers will also have some fun with all of the new toys they got, and that they will actually get to use them instead of just, using them for the sake of using them, because we won't have any actual hard content. My other hope for Endwalker regarding job stuff was that they won't fuck up Gunbreaker or Ninja, and thankfully so far they didn't. I'm saying so far because realistically speaking, something is gonna change, at least for Ninja 100%. During Shadowbringers Media Tour, Ninja could apply 2 dots with Bunshin, like 2 Shadow Fangs, so that got changed. And now there's some tooltip errors and some abilities which don't really work like the tooltip says they do, because for example the right on dashes, like the 2 lightning dashes that you get after the right on, don't mention on the tooltip that you would be actually getting Ninki for those, but you do in fact get Ninki, and on top of that you also get double the Ninki if you're in Bunshin. So yeah, I'm glad that Gunbreaker stayed the same. I'm not gonna say I'm extremely thrilled about the idea, because I was kind of hoping that Gunbreaker would continue getting busy. I get that for some players it's not exactly an accessible job, I guess, to handle because of all of the buttons, all of the OGCDs, all of the all of the GCD that you have to use in your burst windows and stuff. But personally, I feel that Gunbreaker and Ninja feel the best to me. I've always clicked the best with these 2. I might try out Warrior and Monk because those 2 jobs are also of interest, but I've never actually played them a lot because I didn't get the chance to. The main reason why I haven't played Warrior was because the gear difference, which is slightly annoying to be honest. I still don't understand to this day why they can't just make it so direct hit can affect the Warrior in some form, so we can actually use one single tank set for all of the tanks, but oh well. As for Monk, I don't know, I just have this like really OCD thing where if I know that I have finished a tier, that it's close to the end of the expansion, that's more or less when I end up trying out different jobs. I guess yeah, so I have this thing where I don't want to play a job unless I'm at least almost base on it, like best in slot, because I feel like 1, I would be dragging the other people down, and 2, that I'm not exactly playing the job the way it's meant to be played. Since, for example, like I have full crafted gear, and the crafted gear would have like a shit ton of skill speed, and it would make Monk unplayable or whatever. Basically stuff like that. Another thing regarding the Endwalker raids, I hope that they stick to their promise, as I said earlier, that they make them a bit harder. Not specifically like, hard for the sake of being hard. I just hope that they make them more challenging, and that people, like veteran raiders, will have more fun tackling these. I don't think that they're not having fun, but healer mains specifically, I've heard that they really did enjoy raiding this expansion. I've had many friends which ended up dropping healing for the sake of another role, simply because they saw what they did to the healers and they're like, okay, yeah, fuck this, I'm not doing it. Personally, I haven't done a lot with healing. I have cleared some savages as scholar. It was E10S, which wasn't exactly the hardest fight out of all of them. But hey, I cleared Savage Scholar. I guess it's an improvement, given the fact that last time I attempted to heal in Savage was unsynced O4S, and the group couldn't even get past the first white hole because I was too stupid to even know what the fuck I was doing. So yeah, I'd say I've improved at least a little bit on that front. Out of all of the fights in like all 12 fights in Shadowbringers, sorry, I keep thinking of Eden and it goes Endwalker in my head. So out of all 12 fights in Eden, I would say my top 3 would be Leviathan for number 3, solely because of the music. I don't know, the mechanics were interesting and there were no positioners, so kick W. What else? The number 2, I would say maybe, yeah, Ramu. Ramu was a very cool fight, both from the music point of view and from the mechanics. Fury's 14 was a very interesting mechanic. I hadn't seen something like that before, and it was interesting. And number 1, controversial opinion, like very controversial opinion, I would say Shiva, like E8S. I enjoy the music and I enjoy the mechanics. People might have hated the fight because of Light Rampant, but honestly, I think that them offloading all of the difficulty in the front of the fight is a very mixed decision, I would say, like a mixed bag, because on one hand, people after Light Rampant, they know, okay, we've prog through the difficult stuff. Now we only have like, mechanics, like normal mechanics, not something that's gonna wipe you immediately. There were also mechanics that would wipe you immediately. Proceeds to look at Warren's Lament and Ice Lit, Dragon Song. So there were still mechanics that could wipe you 100%, but they weren't as bad, I suppose. I hope that in the Endwalker, so right now I'm basically stuck to being a tank, which I'd say it's not ideal to me, but especially after tanking 2 tiers in a row. So I've tanked Eden's Verse, Eden's Promise, and then 2 ultimates, tanked Uwu, and then now I'm tanking UCOB. The only ultimate which I've done as Ninja was T, and it was really fun, by the way. To be honest, it was the only way I could actually proc T, because I have reached wormhole as Ninja, and yeah, that was an experience. Wu was an experience. I mean, T was an experience. Basically, I was beast and ready for release. I started raiding on release, and it was very, very engaging, to say the least. Like, I would join a static. Like, I joined the static, I got to phase 2, and that static had to disband because someone had some serious IRL issues, and the others didn't really feel like going forward and looking for someone else. So after that, I pretty much static hopped for like 6 months and kept going into groups which were hard traps, or that's how groups that don't really do a lot of prog are called by the raiding community, or rather groups that say that they're doing something but then they are hard stuck on a very early mechanic. For example, I was applying to a group that was supposed to start 3rd phase, and that group ended up wiping to Living Liquid, Jackdolls, and whatnot for 2 nights in a row for 4 hours. So I would say that wasn't exactly optimal in my point of view. So I just said, okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. I'm supposed to be progging Wormhole. Actually, no, I'm supposed to be starting prog on 3rd phase, so I'm gonna dip, I'm sorry. And on the 7th month, I actually found a group which could do that, which could get past phase 2 into phase 3, and we got to wormhole. We did 1 day of prog, or like not even 1 day, like the first day we got wormhole. We did wormhole a few times. We did the practice in the coils. I think it was fourth coil and the elevator one, and then we went to bed or whatever. And the next day, 5.2 came. Like 2 days later, 5.2 came, and people wanted to go to Savage, so the group disbanded and never got back again. So there I was stuck on one hole and couldn't really find anyone. And to be honest, after that experience, I kind of lost all of my will to actually do anything or like to do ultimate, because 7 months of progging kind of does something to a man. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go do 5.2, and I'll come back at a later date. And I think 3 months ago, 2 months ago, I believe, I joined the group. They initially didn't want me because my times weren't exactly great, but then they ended up bending their schedule backwards for me, which in the end apparently was better for them anyway. And we cleared. So, if you watch this, thank you for taking me in and for fucking over your schedule for the sake of me. And yeah, looking forward to maybe raiding with you next ultimate. And anyway, right now I'm progging UCOB. As of today at least, and as of this video, we saw ads. So maybe that's gonna die soon. Other than that, I don't know. I would say my biggest hope next expansion is to have the same static for Savage, because that if I'll say another backstory. Like I know why this video has been all backstories, but then again, that's my experience with Shadowbringers and stuff. But basically, so I made this static back in Eden's Verse, exactly the way I said it earlier, and we had 2 ranged, was caster and the machinist, which basically joined, and we were progging Shiva. We were close, right? Like close to the edge. And then Jordan, Renki, the dragon, asked me, "Hey, dude, can I go party finder if we're not raiding until next week? So maybe I can get a kill." And I said, "Yeah, sure, dude. Like, no worries. Like, if like we didn't clear this week, we'll clear next week. Don't worry. Go get your clear." And he invited the machinist and the summoner along, and they did get a kill, and I congratulate them, because I mean, at the end of the day, we weren't hard from the kill, and it wasn't hard to get a kill to begin with once you were past the hard part. And the next day, we find out that both the summoner and the machinist were missing from the group Discord and from the link shell, and turns out that they were only waiting to get the kill for the summoner, and then they just kind of yeeted. So yeah, that was fun. And when we asked them if they wanted to ultimate with us, that was like a month before, they were like, "Nah, we're not really interested in ultimate." And the next day after they left, guess who I found on ERC looking for I think a T group? Yeah, a T group. Like, guess who I found looking for a T group? Yeah, it was the 2 of them. So that was a lie. Anyway, we found replacements. We got Cranky and Sin. We started doing Ooh after a while. Oh yeah, we also had an issue with the healer where she had to step down because of some health issues, so we had to find another healer. And we went into Ooh. You hated his life because he went in there as Paladin, so Paladin had the gap closer at level 70. Thank you, Square Enix, for having equal leveling systems. We started doing prog. At some point during that prog, we lost the scholar due to another a stupid reason, kind of along, or kind of alike to what the summoner and the machinist did. Basically, she joined the new comp group and she didn't even bother to check if the days were overlapping. And we went to do Emerald Extreme instead. And we just talked a bit about our like disapproval of what she did. Like we didn't even say anything toxic or whatever. Like we just said, okay, like she went to do UCOB with another group instead of doing U with us, and we weren't even that early into Prague. We were already starting Ultima Prague, like Predation, and she was watching apparently, like because like she was supposed to do UCOB, but she had time to watch us do Emerald and talk about her, like whatever. And yeah, she left. I think she was just looking for an excuse to leave. Like that's what we all think. And we found another healer. We found Misha. God bless her soul. She was a blessing, I would say, although she wasn't like she's not a permanent healer. And we cleared do after 9 long months of delaying and canceling. I wouldn't say that delaying or canceling because of like IRL issues was an issue per se. It was more like we didn't exactly have fallback days. So basically, when we'd cancel a raid night, for example, we were raiding Wednesday and Thursday, or Wednesday and Friday, or whatever. Let's say we were raiding the Wednesday and then we were canceling the Friday. We didn't have another fallback day, so we'd basically only raid one day that week. So we cleared 9 months. We didn't actually prog for 9 months. It was more a thing of we did 2 months worth of prog across 9 months because of all of the issues that were popping up. Because the first 3 or 4 months was when COVID started and lockdowns and stuff, and that's kind of what killed our prog early on. And because we spent that much time, we also started the tier late promise, and it's also why we only cleared after Echo, sadly. So I would say that's a bit understandable. It was I would say that it was more or less a mistake to start right before 5.4, because we would have cleared faster, but we wanted to devote time to actually clearing UCOB or sorry, and we just pushed on with we finished and then we started Savage. Misha had to go back to her static to Prague or clear or whatever and farm. Renki went from Dragoon to Scholar. Yue went from Paladin to Ninja after that traumatic experience with U, and we got another tank. The tank had some issues. She had to bail. We got another tank who felt like she wasn't actually on our level. Like she felt that she was dragging us down, even though we were telling her that she wasn't. But she felt that she needed a more beginner group, even though that we told her that she was fine. So she also left, and then we more or less basically survived on subs for a while. Sin is going to be not trading with us next expansion, sadly, because he was hoping that with the data center playing like cross data center crossplay, he could have played with us on his main form light, but there was none. So yeah, sadly he had to decide between playing 2 groups or playing 1 group, and he chose to play with his main on light, so that's understandable. And Cranky thinks he might not be able to raid either. He his work, his job, might be stopping him from doing so. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting expansion. I know that I said my experiences with Shadowbringers and hopes for Endwalker, and it ended up being me over more or less telling a fireside story and backstory and whatever. But yeah, these are my hopes. These are my experiences with Shadowbringers and my hopes for Endwalker. And yeah, I suppose I'm gonna stop here because the videos they getting a bit long, and I would assume that I can lost most of you uh, somewhere around the middle. Yeah, if you watch until here and you enjoyed watching, maybe like, maybe drop a subscription. I don't know if you think that this channel is worth your time. It would be very appreciated. And I will be seeing you next time. Take care. Have a good one.